If you are looking for signs for your team or business, look no further than High Tech Signs and Apparel, a state-of-the-art full-service sign shop. And from the clean and modern off-white shop to the latest technology in designing and producing signs, High Tech Signs has a sales staff of over 25 years experience to cater your every need. Services include large format digital printing, interior signage, exterior signage, vehicle solutions, and apparel. When it comes to solving the sign problems, the solution is High Tech Signs and Apparel. Located at 3359 Middle Road, Suite 2 in Bettendorf, you can call them with any of your questions at 563-449-9400. High Tech Signs and Apparel, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. The Riverhawks Media Network is looking forward to bringing you, the fans, nonstop football action here this 2021 season. But we are also excited to bring you a way to get involved in the action and support a great cause all season long. The Muscatine Riverhawks, in partnership with the Riverhawks Media Network, are proud to bring the season-long donations with our partners of the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois. The Riverhawks have committed to donating as a team every time the defense gets a sack, turnover, touchdown, or safety. We are asking you, the fans, to get involved in this great organization that assists families with sick children stay close to each other and provide care and resources when they need it most. So while you support the team on the field, come support our team in donating to this great cause. More information can be provided across all of our social media platforms or by visiting gf.me/u/ZPNWMM. Thank you, the fans, for all the support you've given the Muscatine Riverhawks over the last 5 years.
Nutrition Outlet. If you're looking to maintain your health or get back in shape, Nutrition Outlet provides a wide variety of products and services, including biometric scanning, organic salon, detox sessions, emotional balancing, and natural health assessments. Contact them at 563-264-8124. Nutrition Outlet, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football.
If you're in the mood for some new ink, look no further than Pearl City Tattoo. Bill Kaufman opened Pearl City Tattoo in 2005 and has grown to be the most recommended tattoo shop in Muscatine, believing that every customer deserves the best experience possible, and they set the standard for communication, prompt scheduling, and transparent pricing. You have questions, you can reach out to Bill on Facebook and Instagram or contact them at 563-263-7001, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football.
The following broadcast is a production of the Riverhawks Media Network and is property of the Muscatine Riverhawks. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of Muscatine Riverhawks football is strictly prohibited.
And welcome in to episode 6 of Riverhawks Weekly. Tyler Bean alongside my partner, former Monmouth College wide receiver Jake Landry. Jake, it's a fresh week. How are you doing after yesterday, man?
Well, could have had a better performance on the field and, technical difficulties and all that other stuff. But I'm feeling good today because we get to talk football.
Hey, always a good thing to talk football here on the Riverhawks Media Network. And why not start with the rundown? Recap of last week's games. The Midwest Hawks beat the Effingham County Storm in a 65-12 matchup. The Savages rout the Tri-State Timberwolves and welcome them to the MAAFL in their first matchup in history, 60-6. The Thunderbirds rout the Quad City Nighthawks, again, another welcoming into the league with tough teams, 46-2. And then, of course, our game that we covered yesterday, 56-42. The Punishers over the Riverhawks. And, of course, before I have Jake break down this game, I just want to mention that We did experience technical difficulties yesterday that were beyond our control about midway through the third quarter. We've identified those issues, and we are working to get them corrected for our upcoming matchup May 16th at home taking on the Quad City Nighthawks. More on that probably a little bit later in a future episode. But regardless, Jake, 56-42, Peoria over Muscatine. We covered the game up until the technical difficulties and then proceeded to go to the sidelines and finish watching. What were your takeaways, especially compared to your keys to the game yesterday?
Well, first off, it's a shame that the game got cut off when it did, because it was starting to get really exciting there. And I don't know if anybody got to see it, but we had the pick six followed by the fumble recovery, the scoop and score. That was fun to watch, and it was getting really exciting there for a minute, and it just cut out on us. And once again, we apologize for that. But just a lot that went wrong for the Riverhawks and a lot that went right for Peoria, but at the same time, a lot of shooting themselves in the foot, stuff we have seen week in and week out for the last 3 weeks, and just stuff I really hope to see corrected coming through in these bye weeks coming up.
Yeah, obviously it's week 3 now, heading into week 4. We talked about early on in the last couple weeks, Jake, how you'll see the simple mistakes, the silly penalties, but it seems like those have flooded over into this team, and it's caught us by surprise as well as probably the team. We know Eric Johnson and company is going to right the ship and get things going. I guess my next question for you, Jake, is, you got 2 consecutive bye weeks here. What does the team have to do to really wake up and smell the coffee? And in my opinion, I think you took the 2 toughest teams in this league and back-to-back weeks. Granted, they weren't home. You didn't have to travel. But if I'm looking at the schedule, I think 2 of their toughest opponents, or at least the deepest with the most talent, no disrespect to any other team we face this year, they're gone. So what do the Riverhawks have to do here? Is it more practice? Is it more film? Is it a little bit of both? Give us your opinion on that.
I just think they need to regather themselves. You could tell on the field that they were looking flustered. On that sideline, they were looking flustered. And just they need to take this time, this bye week off, to really just reevaluate. And I talked about this over and over throughout the game. There's a lack of identity on that offense there. The offense needs to come together and find out, okay, do we want to be a passing team? Do we want to be a running team? They just need to find themselves right now, because there is a severe lack of identity there on that offense. And on defense, they need to say, hey, look, I know the offense is stalling for us recently. We need to find a way to help pick up that offense, like make sure they're pushing that offense to be the best that they can be. And the defense just needs to remind themselves, hey, we've played well so far, and we need to keep this going. And just overall, on that Riverhawks sideline, somebody needs to step up and say, this isn't us. We are a better team than this. And we've seen it. Everybody has seen it when this team is flying high. It's just we've also seen them at their lowest lows. And just somebody needs to step up and take charge and say, look, let's figure this out right now. This is the time to do it on your bye week. Fix those mistakes and just figure things out.
Yeah, it's not very often with this daunting MA8FL schedule that you get back-to-back bye weeks. So I would imagine Kyle Bass, Eric Johnson, Alan O'Toole, the rest of that coaching staff are going to go back to the drawing board, find out what's working, find out what's not, find out what personnel belongs, find out what personnel doesn't. And I'm sure we'll get more news on that in the coming weeks. And I guess the other thing I wanted to mention that our viewers didn't get to see on the Riverhawks Media Network was that just as we started to receive those technical difficulties midway through the third quarter, early through the fourth quarter, the Riverhawks really had it rolling. Multiple turnovers, a scoop and score by Devin Davis, an interception, a huge pass play to Zach Minch that got them within striking distance to score again there early in the fourth quarter that would have made it a one-score game. Too little, too late. That was my thought process, looking at it. If you had those plays early on and maybe matching touchdown for touchdown with Peoria, we could be talking about a completely different outcome today. But unfortunately, it seemed like a lot of those mistakes early on in the first half came back to pay. And I think listening to the guys in the huddle after the game, after the hands had been shook and everyone said their goodbyes to one another, I think the team rallied together and said, look at the way we just played in the last 10 or 12 game minutes. We can play like that every single play, every single down. And so I think this 2-week bye week before we get back to a home game and then finish the rest of our games on the road. By the way, all broadcasted on the Riverhawks Media Network. Fingers crossed, hopefully no more technical difficulties. I really think that that's going to mean something, and I think as these guys go back to practice, watch film, they're going to identify those things. They're going to key in on some mistakes, key in on the good things, because, make no mistake about it, Jake, there were players yesterday on the Riverhawks and Punishers sideline that made great impacts. My next question for you, partner, is what were some guys yesterday for both the opposition and the Riverhawks that made some impacts?
Well, I mean, it was a high-scoring game, so a lot of scoring opportunities and a lot of different plays on both sides of the ball. So my first player that stood out to me was Laji Diallo. He had that huge kickoff return, and I told everybody, I was like, hey, if they're going to keep kicking to him, watch out for him. He could probably make something happen. That was a big play that stood out to me, and also at running back, he was really carrying the rock well. So I hope to see more from him later on in the season. Zach Minch, another big game for him. Probably the leading receiver at this point. I don't know. I don't have statistics on me right now, but he had himself a couple touchdowns again. So I believe he has 4 on the season. Once again, not 100% sure on that. Devin Davis played his butt off yesterday, our player of the game, I believe. And he had that big scoop and score near the end of the game that really brought the Riverhawks back. And I know a lot of viewers didn't get to see that, but man, we were hype in the booth when that play took place. And Logan Larson-Smith, just an absolute baller. He came up to us before the game. Remember, he said, I'm going to show you something. Yep. And he did. I believe he had a forced fumble and a recovery on a strip sack. But overall, defense, fantastic game. A lot of points put on the board. 2 safeties, and that's just something you don't hear of in football very often, from one defense in one game. Also, scoring touchdowns. Just doing what the offense couldn't do, put points on the board, really made it a different game. And on the Peoria side of the ball, man, we have to talk about him. Andre Locke, absolute stud yesterday. And I wish I could break this down in Chalk Talk, but this, of course, is Riverhawks Media Network. He just played an absolute complete game as a quarterback. I've never really seen a quarterback scramble that well and find the open receiver, keeping his head up. I have to praise him as a quarterback. That was a great game by him. And then Shaq Thompson, the opening kickoff that just took the breath away from the Riverhawks, really just set the tone for the entire game. Had the kickoff return. I believe he had a two rushing touchdowns. Yep. But those are my standout players from Peoria. However, Riverhawks did have some standout players on their own. But overall, just a lot of fireworks yesterday from both sides of the ball.
Yeah, certainly, Jake. A lot of firepower that we saw yesterday, and always a pleasure seeing the Peoria Punishers. I'm very familiar with a lot of those faces. Been around them with multiple organizations, so they played a great game, and they're showing why they're the defending champions. My next question for you, Jake, is really break down your likes and dislikes overall yesterday for the Riverhawks as a whole.
Well, I just want to point out first, my job is to analyze, and I'm going to do a lot of analyzing here. So my likes from the game, when players stepped up, because that was a rough one, and when it's a game like that, it's hard for people to stay motivated and want to be in that game. But there was you could see who the leadership was on the field for sure. Devin Davis, like I said before, he had the scoop and score. That really fired up the team. And just overall, a bunch of players who, when things started to pick up, you could see, hey, let's go, we're moving. So when there was leadership on that field, I like to see that. Defensive scoring. Once again, they were putting points on the board, and I think, this defense has looked good all season, and that's just going to bring me into the dislikes right now. Offense stalling again. It's hard for a defense to want to be out there and playing ball if your offense is not producing. And not only was the offense not producing, the defense was having to do their job by putting points on the board. And I understand we've had some turnover with Coach Barnhart and Kyle Bass now calling the offense. I understand that, but at some point, your offense has to find that identity that I keep talking about, and there's none to be heard of. However, also want to mention Kyle Franklin went down early in the game.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Yeah.
Kyle Franklin goes down, but at the same time, I do want to mention something that our viewers didn't get the chance to see when we were live up and running yesterday. Kyle Bass, every offensive possession, whether it was a score, a turnover on downs, Kyle was grabbing the whiteboard going, offense, let's all gather together. I think you need that continuity. I think that
100%.
brings success to an organization. I've been a coach. I've worked with Coach Johnson. I've worked with Kyle. I've worked with O'Toole. they're the type of guys that are willing to grab a whiteboard. O'Toole did the same thing after the first kickoff. Special teams. If you're a special teams guy, come over here. And really, I'm not trying to take your job partner being the color commentator, but really looking back at that opening kickoff, it's gap integrity. Doesn't break it and doesn't miss a tackle or arm tackling like we saw yesterday. I think you wrapped Shaq Thompson up. Granted, Shaq Thompson, probably one of the best return men in the league that I've seen over the past couple of years. Certainly a great athlete. But it's about maintaining lanes and wrapping up and 8 helmets to the ball. So I think that's the way you interpret it. That's what a coach does. He's going to take stuff back to the drawing board. Hey, what did we do here? Well, if we didn't maintain our lane, we gave him an open avenue. More on that maybe later with you. But Kyle Franklin, I was able to talk to him for a little bit after the game. Was a non-contact injury, was the knee, unfortunately. He was limping pretty bad. So, Kyle, if you're watching this, brother, hopefully everything is okay. We're thinking about you. Rest up, and hopefully we see you back on the field soon. But yeah, that's going to be tough. You're looking at Zach Taylor the rest of the way, and he's been banged up as of late as well. So not a better time to have a bye week, right, partner?
Oh, absolutely. And of course, going off of Kyle Franklin's injury, great teams still find a way. We said it over and over and over again. So that was not exactly a reason for this team to shut down. And my last big thing was the ref blaming that I saw on the sideline. They were asking for flags, and you know what? And I said this in the broadcast as well. Yep. Don't put it in the hands of the ref. They're there to do their job. They're going to make their calls no matter what. Right. And there was a lot of points where this Riverhawks team was asking for flags from the referee. That they're not going to win you this ball game. Doesn't matter if they throw a flag on certain plays. I heard a lot of people saying on that opening kickoff, there was a hold. There was also a lot of arm tackling. And if you're not going to bring him down, you got to tackle. That's the bottom line. I also heard a lot of people asking for flags on pass interference. Look, good receivers find a way, and that's been preached to me my entire life. I've played wide receiver my entire life. Good receivers find a way, and I'm sorry, and I'm being really honest here, but if this Riverhawks team wants to succeed, they've got to find a way.
It's harsh honesty, partner, and obviously, we're not trying to discourage.
Absolutely not.
We're calling games for.
Absolutely not.
To play the devil's advocate, I can understand the frustration of if guys are getting held at the line and you're not hitting a gap when you should. It throws off the rhythm for everything. I think the thing that they need to do is maybe compartmentalize themselves internally and come back to the huddle and, talk about those things amongst each other, because you are right, the refs are there to do their job, and they're going to make the calls that they make. And certainly Coach Eric Johnson wasn't very happy about some of those either. But, again, it's a 2-week bye week. You're going to get a fresh start. I think when I was going to say when we talk on the 16th, but fortunately, you'll be a college graduate by then. So
on that day, yeah.
It'll be me breaking things down. I really think I'm going to try to nail into some of these guys' heads. Hey, it's an 0-0, fresh slate, plenty of games left. You got maybe 2 of your toughest games out of the way, and now you can work to get on a roll for the rest of the year. So on that note, I think we should take a break. Thank some of our sponsors. We've got not 1, not 2, but 3, counting 3 guests today. Running backs Greer and Minch, defensive end Devin Davis, come to join us to talk about yesterday's game. Heading into the bye week, let's talk a little bit about team night, amongst other things. So we'll be right back. Riverhawks Weekly right here on the Riverhawks Media Network.
Holler's Bar and Grill. Food to drool over and entertainment to make you dance. This is what you would imagine in a Quad Cities bar, and Holler's Bar and Grill is just the place to have it. Serving happy hour every day from 3 to 5 p.m. with daily drink and food specials. They also deliver. Contact them at 309-277-9028. Holler's Bar and Grill, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football.
Have some critters bugging you and your home team or business? Call The Bugman, the top quality pest control service in Muscatine. Services include tackling ants, bedbugs, bees, cockroaches, fleas or mites, hornets, wasps, home inspections, and so much more. Give them a call at 563-554-2847. The Bugman, proud sponsor of the Muscatine Riverhawks. Travel accommodations for the Muscatine Riverhawks and the Riverhawks Media Network are provided by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, located at 3220 East 53rd Street, Suite A in Davenport. More information can be provided by calling 209-9631. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, proud sponsors of Riverhawks football. We are back here on the Riverhawks Media Network. Welcomed in with our two guests today, Devin Davis and Zach Minch. Guys, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
No problem.
All right, Devin, start with you, brother. First and foremost, just thoughts from yesterday's game. Obviously, a tough loss at home to a very good Peoria team. Overall thoughts and maybe what you guys can improve on here in the bye week.
Yeah, we made a lot of mental mistakes in the first half. Second half, we were able to come together as a team more. Still came up short, but definitely a ton to build on for the rest of the year. It's really a group of guys that haven't played together a lot, so we're all still trying to build that chemistry together, get to that championship.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time in the broadcast. Good teams find a way to face adversity, and certainly this start, you guys got a lot to work on, but we're confident that you guys will pull it together. So not a better time. We talked about it early on in the podcast to have a couple weeks off and to rest, recover, and rejuvenate ourselves for hopefully what is a long championship run. So,
All right, Zach, this next question is going to you. So a little bit slow start for the offense this season. A couple high notes, though, which is good, and we like to see that. But what does this offense need to do to really kickstart in this in the next half of the season coming up?
I think with our two-week bye coming up that we just need to gel more. I just think that it's just all about timing right now. Like Dev said, we got a bunch of new guys coming together, and with it just being so, we played some of the best teams at the beginning of the season, so I think that's only going to help us right now as further as we get. So I feel like with this 2-week bye, if we just come together and we play right, we only lost by 12. So and we made a lot of mental mistakes. So if we just clean off that stuff on our end and we play our game, I think we'll be all right.
No doubt, and we definitely talked about it before this interview, is it's fixable mistakes. And, I mean, that's a relief to hear. But once you get it together, it's all going to look good because we've seen it at its full potential. And like I keep saying, we're this close to making it happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, partner. And, Devin, of course, I've had the pleasure of coaching you as a player. You're fantastic on the defensive side of the ball, one of the best I've had the pleasure to be around. And just where do you get your game from as a defensive end, whether that's, someone that you watched growing up or someone currently in the league now, or, just give us some insight on that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of pull from everywhere. I don't really say I have a particular style or person I really go after. I kind of just watch pretty much all the DNs in the league and in college and kind of pull different things from them. I'd say my favorite team's the Packers, so I watch a lot of Zadarius Smith, see a lot of different moves he uses and stuff like that. So
Sure. Not a Daniil Hunter fan by chance?
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
No.
Man.
Well, I'm sitting next to a Vikings fan. I guess that makes sense. I'm not a very big Zadarius Smith guy, but he is very talented, so certainly a good player to watch.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about J.J. Watt, so moving on. Similar question for you. So who would you compare yourself to in the league? Is there somebody you model your game after?
To be honest with you, not particularly. My favorite player is honestly Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
And I played running back for like the longest time, high school, college, and then after college and playing indoor ball, I started to transfer my game to receiver. So I kind of just watch a bunch of different receivers that are more my build. So like the smaller slot guys, I try to just watch what they do. And I'm still just learning. This is my first year at being a receiver fully. So I just feel as if I can just take pieces from each one, from a guy from a higher level's game, and I just can implement it to mine. I think I can be able to just make my game my game.
Gotcha. Well, like Wes Welker, Julian Edelman kind of athletes, smaller, quicker athletes. And, I mean, Adrian Peterson, there you go, Vikings fan. You got you a buddy over here.
Hey, I like him already. Hey, it's always a pleasure to have our guests here on the Riverhawks Media Network. Looks like we've got a special one today. Devin, why don't you go ahead and introduce him?
Oh, yeah, this is my son, Ezekiel.
Got a future defensive end in the works there?
Hopefully he'll be bigger than me. So
well, hey, you got a lot to learn, so keep watching, young man. Devin, my next question for you, obviously you're a guy of a military background, and we certainly thank you for the service and the sacrifice you give to this great country. Do you get a little bit of everything from military and football crossing together? Do you learn things from football that you bring to the military and vice versa?
I would say the biggest thing I probably learned is teamwork. When I was in the military, I was infantry squad leader. So just being able to get the guys together and complete a mission really is kind of what I can translate from the Army to the football field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any and every military guy I've met brings that same teamwork characteristic. And when you can bring down the football field with 30, 40, 50 guys and bring that camaraderie and that one goal, that ultimate goal, us in the MAAFL being a championship, it's certainly going to be worthwhile for your teammates and for the organization as a whole. So certainly positive to pick up on.
100%. So, Zach, coming back to you, let's take it back to yesterday's game. What were your thoughts on the game overall, just not just on the offensive side of the ball, but, it was a long game. So what did you think about the game itself?
Yeah, besides it being long, I know if you just look at the score and we only lost by 12. That's the only thing that's really resonating to me is that we didn't even play, to me, honestly, that good of a game. And we were that close. So what I'm taking away is that as long as we can just clean up a bunch of small things that we are trying to make it look like it's bigger than what it is, then I honestly feel like we'll be fine.
Yep, football is that sport where it's a week-to-week thing. You only play once a week compared to like baseball and basketball. Sometimes you get 2 or 3 games a week. So it's going to be week-to-week, and we've seen progress from this team on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, and it's showing. So going into this bye week, hopefully there's a bright shining spot coming up.
Like you said, partner, we've seen you guys at your best. We're this close. And Devin, that brings me into my final question for you today. Obviously, back-to-back bye weeks, a rarity in this league. I've been around it for a few years, and I don't think we've seen it yet. Anything that you have planned for the bye week, both as a teammate, rejuvenating yourself and rejuvenating the team, or just you personally, anything fun planned over the next couple of weeks?
Don't really have anything fun planned. Just gonna hang with these kids, these crazy kids. But for myself, just basically gonna heal up. Had a knee injury before the season started that I've been kind of trying to get over, and then the other day, obviously dislocating my pinky.
Yeah, not good.
So definitely gonna be looking forward to some nice ice and.
Ice and kid time,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, hey, I think it's the most advantageous thing to have back-to-back bye weeks and to have that opportunity to not only look inward but look as a team and say, hey, where can we get better? Where can we really step up and make a true championship run? So, of course, heal up, recover, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, right?
I appreciate it.
Man, get that kid a football helmet.
He wants to suit up now.
Yeah. Well, last question for you, Zach. Going into this bye week, what does this team need to do to regroup after the last 2 games?
Honestly, I think with these, if we just take these 2 weeks and just sharpen our skills, and I don't think we really have to do anything different besides just execute. As long as we just execute plays, we will take us as far as we want us to go, and that's really it.
Of course, it always starts with you as a team, and that's going to be the motto for the rest of the season.
Hey, I got no worries. If the message for the team is the same message these 2 guys have relayed today, I think we'll be just fine. So, guys, thank you again for taking the time to come speak with us today. It's greatly appreciated. Enjoy your time off with yourselves and your families. We'll see you in a couple weeks against the Nighthawks, okay?
Yeah, appreciate it.
And we'll see you, in about 18 years, young man?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again, guys. We'll be right back after this message here on the Riverhawks Media Network.
Looking to level up your game this offseason or take care of your body mid-season for that late-season playoff push? Then Badlands Fitness is the place for you. Badlands Fitness is the Quad City's choice for elite athletic training for athletes of all ages, all sports, and levels. Contact them at 309-617-6416. Badlands Fitness, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. All-American Diner, the leading restaurant serving Muscatine County, and surrounding areas since 2020, serving breakfast all day as well as lunch and dinner. They offer a fish fry every Friday and a buffet on the weekends. For your next meal, visit All-American Diner in Muscatine or call for more information at 563-263-2224. All-American Diner, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks. From maintaining that perfect smile to the most complex dental needs, Parkway View Family Dentistry is committed to providing you and your team with safe, gentle, and high-quality dental care. Sensitive to your needs, it is their goal to make you feel comfortable visiting their practice while providing the best possible care. Open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information can be provided or schedule an appointment by calling 309-792-0513. Parkway View Family Dentistry, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks.
And welcome back to another segment of Chalk Talk, brought to you by All American Diner. I am your host once again, color commentator Jake Landry, and I'm going to be breaking down a couple plays from yesterday's game against the Peoria Punishers. I saw a lot of good things and improvements from the offense and a lot of great things from the defense, but still some down moments for this team. It's all coming together, though. I have full confidence they're going to figure things out here coming up with the bye week, going into the bye week. But let's get right into it. The first play I've got for you here is the first touchdown on the Riverhawks side of the ball. Zach Taylor in at quarterback. Kyle Franklin going down pretty early. Hope he's all good. We're praying for your brother. Anyway, so Zach Taylor to Zach Minch. What I like about this play is I get to break down a receiver running a really crisp route. So what Zach Taylor is going to do right here on the edge is he's going to run what's called a whip route. At Monmouth College, we call it a whip route. I'm not exactly sure if it's the same terminology on this Riverhawks football team. So he's going to run a quick whip route. What it is he's going to flip his hips right there, you see. And that's very hard for a corner to cover because he's thinking he's going in for like a quick slant. He's going to break down and come out, and that's going to leave him wide open and up the sideline for an easy touchdown. Great route running, Zach. Let's see more of it down the line for this season. Of course, I'm going to talk about special teams. I always try to find a way to give special teams some love, and Laji Diallo gave me the opportunity yesterday. Right here, pretty easy to break down on this one. Everybody, if you look, is going to be heading to the left. Right there, heading to the left. Defenders are heading there, and actually the kickoff return team is also heading that way. But the big thing to note is right here, Diallo keeps his eyes up and his head up and looks for a gap. And there's going to be an open gap right there in the middle. And he breaks to his right where nobody expects it and leaves him wide open with nothing but space to run. A great return and a much-needed return at a time when everything was looking a little slow for this Riverhawks team. So look at the special teams making big plays. Great breakdown right there. Break to the right. Wide open space. Let's see more of it from Diallo. Good work. Moving on, we have on defense, we had this huge pick six near the end of the game, right before our broadcast cut out. Sorry about that once again, by the way. So this is quite a simple breakdown as well, as we have a blitz on the outside by number 13, Devontae Levi. And so he's going to come off the edge and put immediate pressure on that quarterback right there. It's going to cause him to do what he's been doing all game. He'd break away from the tackle, but still, I love how the pressure we were putting on this quarterback, causing him to get out of the pocket. So he tries to scramble to his right in direct traffic, throws off his back foot, as you can see, right into the hands of number 29, Kevin Dowell Jr., who comes in for the easy interception and the return right down the middle. Great blocking by the defense, by the way. Way to not get any penalties on their side. That's usually a tough thing for the defense, to not get penalties when blocking on returns. And then he takes it all the way to the house for a much-needed pick six. The momentum definitely switched back into our favor. Also, Devin Davis's return, scoop and score was a huge play that followed this one. But we're going to move on to what we have next. Another big defensive play earlier in the game when the offense was stalling a little bit. So what you're going to see here is the safety early in the game. And right here, we're going to see a blitz off the edge that they were not ready for at all. So here he comes off the edge, right at the quarterback. Locke stood no chance here. Panicked, had a lot of pressure coming at him. Nowhere to go, and he's going to fall down and get brought down in the end zone for a safety. This was definitely huge because it put momentum in our favor after a quick strike touchdown on the opening kickoff. Very good play here by the defense. We saw this all day. They put up a lot of points, 2 safeties, 2 touchdowns. Just a fantastic performance overall. Definitely some improvement can go on the defensive side of the ball, but the offense just needs to help them out a little bit, and I think once that happens, we have a complete football team right here. That's all I have for you today. Be sure to tune in next week for the next podcast. I don't believe I will be doing a breakdown as it is a bye week, which is sad for me because you know I love talking football. Either way, though, thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
The Quad City Insulators. With over a decade in home comfort, the Quad City Insulators exist to serve the needs of their homeowners, architects, farmers, and business owners. The amount of money that is wasted due to heating and cooling loss has created a strong demand for not only their superior products, but superior workmanship. They can be contacted at 309-373-0505 and are proud sponsors of the Muscatine River.
If you're in the Davenport area, check out the Dam View. Welcome to your favorite dive bar tucked away downtown. They host a wide range of beers, many of which are local, as well as daily specials, good service, and a large patio. Contact them at 563-324-4434. Proud supporters of the Muscatine Riverhawks.
If you are looking for a place for fellowship and worship with great people, look no further than River City Church, welcoming those from all walks of life and faith with 2 Sunday services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. in Moline and 10 a.m. in Milan. More information can be provided by calling 309-764-5685 or 309-558-0065. River City Church, proud sponsors of the Muscatine Riverhawks. And we are back here on the Riverhawks Media Network. Tyler Bean, Jake Landry. Jake, it was great having not 1, not 2, but 3 guests like we originally planned. Devin Davis, Ezekiel, and Zach Minch on the show. Thoughts on those guys? They're great human beings, and I appreciate having them here.
Yeah, we heard some good stuff from them, and definitely reassuring to the fans and to everybody else who's following this team. Everything's going to be all good. This bye week is much needed. Players definitely need it based off of what Devin was saying, and nice to have that little surprise third guest that we had.
Yeah, absolutely, and looking forward to seeing that young man strap up in a Riverhawks uniform here in about 18 years. So, here's the deal. The team is 1-2. They've got a lot of personnel issues, a lot of scheme issues to figure out. But I go back to what I said earlier on in the show, Jake. I really think that they've gotten their toughest part of the schedule out of the way. The schedule does lighten up just a little bit, and that's an opportunity to tell you where we will be after these next 2 weeks. May 16th, it's the final home game of the year. So soon, so sad. At home against the Quad City Nighthawks, I'm calling it a rivalry renewed between 2 Iowa area teams. They head to Keokuk on the 23rd and take on the Tri-State Timberwolves. They'll be in Springfield on May 30th, taking on the Central State Savages. June 6th is our final bye week of these 3 bye weeks this year. June 13th, they're in Bloomington taking on the Mid-State Thunderbirds. And then June 20th, round 1 of the MA8FL playoffs, which we certainly expect to be there after the Riverhawks go 4-0 to finish out the year. So, Jake, my question to you, outside of the Central State Savages, obviously a team that's merged between 2 teams last year, any other games on the schedule that you're looking forward to this year?
Well, and sad I won't be here is the Quad City Nighthawks. I was definitely looking forward to that game because, like you said, rivalry renewed, 2 Iowa teams, and I was just looking forward to see the competitiveness coming off of the bye weeks for both teams, I believe, to see exactly what was going to happen there, to see if this Riverhawks team was going to bounce back after the 3 games we've had this season already. But sadly, I won't be there, so I guess that would have been my one to stand out.
Yeah, but at the same time, folks, if you didn't know, Jake is a Monmouth College senior. I'm a Monmouth College graduate, and he will be making that transition from current student to alumni. And so just want to mention here on the broadcast, Jake, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Worked very hard over the last 4 years, and welcome to the party of being a Monmouth alumni.
Oh boy!
Well, we certainly love our alma mater, and we give them a personal thanks here on the broadcast for allowing us to have such great interns that have worked all year. I'll try to hold back my tears and save my thank yous for a later date.
Yep, roll Scots.
Yeah, roll Scots. Obviously, one other thing I wanted to note, and we've talked to Eric Johnson today. Had some kind of personal one-on-one conversations with him. He seems to feel like that there is some personnel schematic issues going on. Obviously, Kyle Bass being the offensive coordinator, we didn't truly think that it would only take a week for everything to click on all cylinders. So my question for you on the offensive side of the ball, obviously Kyle's going to continue to stay with the team. He's not only an owner, but the new offensive coordinator. Not a better time in these next 2 weeks to really have film to work off those schematic issues that they're looking at, right?
Oh, absolutely. And big thing here is they have a chance to not just the team to just recharge physically, but mentally as well. Now they have 2 weeks to sit down and take a look at all the film that they have from these past games and the upcoming opponents. So they have an actual chance, not just a week, to sit down and say, okay, this is what we did wrong. This is what we've been doing right. So they are going to be able to actually establish, hopefully, an identity like I've been talking about for the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, partner. And you talked about recharging mentally, and I guess that's a good transition into us talking about Saturday. This Saturday, yes, this weekend, the Riverhawks will not be playing football, but one thing they will be doing is they'll be heading out to one of our local sponsors, the Danview Inn in Davenport, for a team night. Yes, this is your opportunity as a fan of the Riverhawks, if you've been catching our games on the Riverhawks Media Network, to go meet the players and coaches, enjoy good food and drink in a family fun atmosphere. So should be a good time. I believe things are going to kick off around 9 o'clock, so be sure to stop on into the Danview Inn, get yourself a nice bite to eat, a nice ice-cold drink, and enjoy the company of Riverhawks players and coaches. So other than that, partner, it's a bye week for us as well. We're going to recharge and retool our batteries and get ready for next week's podcast, where we'll most likely dive into the upcoming opponent in the Quad City Nighthawks. Look forward to talking to you there. For Tyler Bean and former Monmouth College wide receiver Jake Landry, we're signing off. This is Riverhawks Weekly right here on the Riverhawks Media Network. We're back here on the Riverhawks Media Network. Diallo gets the ball, heads left, heads to the right. He breaks a couple of tackles and he could go. He's to the 20, to the 10. Could go all the way for a Boonies Riverhawks touchdown.
Man, I'm hungry.
And what's this, folks? Change of events as Diallo's off the field. Looks like he's on Iowa Avenue in Muscatine. I think he said something about being hungry. He crosses the street. He jumps the curb. Oh, look no further. He's at Boonies on the Avenue. Let's head inside.
What's a pizza?
That is an MVP play, and you could be the MVP of your team at home by heading to Boonies on the Avenue in Muscatine. A family restaurant with over 27 big screen TVs, daily food and drink specials to cater the needs of any sports fan, from a rookie to a Hall of Famer. Looking for a night out or a place to watch the big game? Look no further than Boonies on the Avenue, located at 214 Iowa Avenue in Muscatine, or by phone at 563-263-0626. Boonies on the Avenue, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. This is the portion of our broadcast where you can see your ad in our next upcoming podcast or live stream game. The Muscatine Riverhawks provide a wide variety of sponsorship packages to cater the needs of your business. More information on these packages can be provided to you from Kyle Bass or Eric Johnson, and their contact information is 563-299-8334 or 309-721-5560. We look forward to your support this season, and as always, go Riverhawks.
To keep up with everything Muscatine Riverhawks, follow us on all social media platforms to see everything behind the scenes, weekly podcasts, and of course, our live streams of games every Sunday. You can follow us on Facebook at Muscatine Riverhawks Media Network, on Instagram at Muscatine Riverhawks, Twitter at Riverhawks_MN. You can follow us on YouTube at Muscatine Riverhawks Media Network, and then you can follow us on Snapchat at Riverhawks 2017.